Last we spoke for season one, I asked you about how this series has altered your perception of reality. And you talked about how there's like a certain sadness to being ignored. And so I'm curious with this new season, this new journey that Harry finds himself on, has that journey been more fascinating to you to bring your reality to Harry's reality this season? Is there anything new that you've been latching onto with this new season and where it goes?
Yeah, I mean the circumstances that the characters find themselves in are very different, unexpected, um, and pretty trying from a psychological point of view. So that was exciting because, the character as he's portrayed and what was required of him in the first season was pretty cerebral, pretty intellectual, very much in control of his story, and
Mhm.
that's not so true in this season.
I love how this season starts with this line. It's narrated about any man can have success, but it takes a madman to be great. Do you feel like you have to be a little mad sometimes to create the art that you do, or do you disregard that saying altogether and just kind of depend on the madness of others?
I don't know if any person can have success. I mean, I think that's pretty difficult to achieve. A lot of people are constantly striving every day to achieve success in their lives, and it's frustrating to they're frustrated in that ambition. Do you need to be mad to be great? I think you have to be willing to break convention, to flout convention, to be willing to be not ignored, but I mean, I think you have that people will if you're changing the paradigm too much, they're going to be scared of what you're trying to do. Um, so you have to have a lot of resilience. I don't know if that means that you're mad.
Mm. In this season, we got a greater sense of what it's like in Harry's head, especially in episode six. You more than anyone know what it's like to be inside Harry's head. So I'm curious what it's like being inside his head for you. Do you approach things in life now or craft your characters more mathematically? How has he stretched your intellect?
I mean, no, I don't think in life the way that Harry Seldon thinks. I mean, I personally think that there's a better way to go about it, which is to be more direct and more forthright. But then
Mm,
again, I am not trying to control the outcome of an entire species that's spread out all over the galaxy, and I don't have a prediction of an impending catastrophe. I think that if you're involved in um, endeavors like that, and it isn't too far fetched to say that there are climate scientists who look down the road of where we will be as a species 100 to 150 years down the road, and they are banging the drum loudly trying to get us to wake up and take them seriously. I think that would be an extremely frustrating and agonizing place to be. So I imagine if there's anyone who's thinking in a similar to way to Harry Seldon, it would be those people.
mm, mm. What about in terms of like, because one of my great fascinations of watching this show is the language of the characters. Like sometimes they can be very Shakespearean and like almost where I have to pause it and just kind of digest those words for a minute. And then other times it's really funny. Like there's a line in here with a character talking about manhood, and it's more my kind of like modern humor and find it kind of funny. So do you at all, I guess, to kind of bring math back into the equation here? Do you think when it comes to delivering your lines, is math at all entering your mind with like, I'm going to put emphasis right here, or is it just more organic than that?
I mean, I think the way that you have to approach the scenes are what they're saying isn't as important as what they're trying to do.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you sort of if you start to focus on lines and words, you're veering into radio.
Sure.
And you have to think of what the intention of the character are and what they're trying to achieve, how they're going about achieving it. Sometimes, the lines help. Sometimes they need to be tweaked a bit. Sometimes they're overwritten. Sometimes being succinct is more effective. I think that talking about the math aspect of the show is very difficult, because it isn't a language that, not even most people have. It's a very small group of people that would understand a conversation on that level. So I don't like generalization. So I think it's best to be trying to be specific.